So how did we get started? Let's see. So, well, Alex and I met, I was 19, 20, and you were 17, just coming out of high school, beauty school.
Yep.
So we met as very young men. He was an assistant, I was already a stylist, and we became friends relatively quickly. Kind of bounced around Birmingham a little bit for about 7 years, and we stayed friends that whole time. I came here to work when this salon was first opened. It was under a different name at the time. It was Stephen Anthony Salon. I quickly learned that the gentleman who opened it was not really running it how it should be ran. About 11 months in, an opportunity came up to buy the place, and I knew that Alex was saving up his tips to try to maybe open up his own salon. So I reached out to him and said, hey, we might have an opportunity here. And we were young. I was 27 and he was 23, but we were like, hey, if these guys we've been working for can do it, I think we can do it too. When we first started out, there was us two and then 3 more people. And the salon was half the size that it is now. So it was 3 hairstylists, 1 makeup artist, and 1 receptionist.
I mean, initially we had enough business to keep it afloat and pay the bills, but we knew that we had to grow the business through educating our staff and, growing the right type environment.
Was that a big decision to expand? Most definitely. Because, we initially when we were small, we had more control over the quality of the work and things like that. And that was our biggest concern, was like, if we get bigger, are we going to be able to control how people are doing hair inside of our environment? We didn't want to just get bigger just to make more money. We still wanted to maintain the same level of quality and the same type of culture. And that's hard when you get bigger. The culture that we really wanted to create was one where education for our staff was first. If we gave them the right training, then they would be able to take care of clients, and then it would grow. That was kind of what we came from, both our Birmingham locations that we came from. Education was paramount, so we made sure that we instilled that in our staff first. And we just tried to hire nice people. He's Albanian, I'm Italian, our family's coming from Europe. Like, you come over and we're warm, welcoming, like, come on in, make yourself at home, let me get you something to drink, so, kind of having that warm, friendly culture coupled with the education and great styling, we felt like was a recipe for success.
Well, being in downtown Royal Oak 20 years ago looked a lot different than it does now. Most of the beautiful retail that you see across the street was an old abandoned warehouse. A lot of the storefronts were closed. In the last few years, it really took an uplift in, most of the retail and shops that have come in, some bigger names than some boutiques, but overall, the city's changed in a positive way.
I think it's a different kind of hip. Like, when we first started, you'd see younger kids hanging out on the corners, not sure what they were up to, but not always good. Different dynamic with the crowd that was hanging out. Now you see more families. You see people coming up for ice cream. You see people coming out to dinner and stuff like that. So it's kind of like the bar scene has kind of maybe dwindled a little bit, and now it's more restaurants and shopping.
We traded the Mohawk for the strollers.
I like that. How much have hairdos changed over 20 years? There's been a lot of change, but I think, for me, what I notice more than anything is just how much hair color gets done now, from rainbow color to balayage, natural. You've got people coming in wanting to be bright red, pale pink, bright yellow, or silver. Hair color has just taken over the market, which is great, because we love doing it, and we do a ton of it.
Well, do we consult them on their hair color going gray? Yeah. We try to walk them off the ledge. No. All jokes aside, I mean, if it's a look that's going to complement them, then we'll obviously embrace that. We're not going to just push it just to push it, but if it's something that looks good and they feel comfortable, and it's all about gaining that trust with the client rather than, just giving them something to get the buck. Does the Dream Cruise impact our business? Not so much the Dream Cruise, because that doesn't slow down any parking for customers and whatnot, but other events like Arts, Beats, and Eats. It's a good thing because it draws people to the town, but it's also for some small businesses like ours, we have to closed down because the parking spaces are covered and, you know, the parking's limited for customers coming in for a service, you know, added expense for them, I should say.
That's a weekend where a lot of people come back to Michigan who moved away to visit their family and things like that. And so they a lot of times look forward to coming back and seeing us too, and then they can't do it because we're shut down. So there's definitely some drawbacks to it. You know, we get the weekend off, that's great, get a little recharge. But yeah, in terms of almost everybody that I know that has a business down here would rather it not be here, but we don't really have any control over that. So, you know, I'm there every night listening to music and having a good time, and, you know,